Let me make something very clear to you.
Okay.
Firstly, you're confusing 1% of men with all men. The majority of men have no money, no power, no sex from their wife.
Fact.
They won't get to see their kids, and they don't. So most men, their life sucks.
Okay.
That's the first thing. The second thing, when a man gets up at 4 a.m. to go carry garbage to earn a good wage, he ain't thinking, I'm gonna do this so I can oppress that bitch because she's broke. He's doing it thinking so I can provide for my family, so my woman can stay at home and raise my kids and have nice nails while I'm out here carrying trash. You go to a coal mine, those dudes are not down there thinking about oppressing women. They're down there thinking about providing for women. Now, I'm not saying that there's not bad apples, but in general, us men are prepared to take on more bullshit to protect you than you would possibly believe. And in the modern world, they've spun that. Feminism spun that. Men make all the money. You women need more money because men make the money and men are in charge and men have the good jobs. Men are out here giving up their fucking life for you chicks.
Oh, yeah.
They're giving up their life
Nailed
for
it.
you. And
completely
feminism
agree.
prevents you respecting it.
As articulate as Andrew is in nailing these points home, you'll still have some folks that'll say, but the patriarchy. Listen, he's explaining the burden of male performance, but there's some bad actors that will conflate the patriarchy with the hyper-competitive 1% of the men in this country. But 99% of the men do not benefit from the patriarchy that you seek to overcome. Those 99% of men are trying to win at capitalism. But just as Andrew was saying, feminism has conditioned many women and as well as many men. And this rhetoric actually damages men the most because the product of that rhetoric is a much more docile, passive, feminine man that is not comfortable within his manhood, is not comfortable within his masculinity, is not comfortable flexing his muscle because he was told that he is toxic in his masculinity and that his very existence is detrimental to the growth or the flourishing of women in the world. And what's crazier is that the product of that man is not found to be attractive by women anyway. That's why it's so important to take back and re-engineer the narrative.
Strength.
The other day, I was watching a TV show, and on this particular TV show, I saw something interesting. There was a young man on this particular TV show that was wearing a very, very interesting t-shirt. On this t-shirt, it read, "The future is women." Let me say that one more time, and y'all probably seen these shirts before. A young man was wearing a shirt that said, "The future is women." And in the back of my mind, I paused the show for a second and I was lost because I was trying to figure out where it all went wrong. Now, I'm going to say something that some people may find to be controversial, right? But here's the reality. There are certain jobs that only men can do. Period. There are certain jobs that only men can do. Ladies, don't take it the wrong way. There are certain jobs that only men can do. I know you want to sit there and be like, oh, if men can do it, women can do it too. But hear me out. The reason that there are only certain jobs that men can do is the simple fact that women do not want to do these jobs. And to be honest with you, a lot of these men do not want to do these jobs. But why do they do these jobs? Because they need to earn some type of income to take care of the people that they are responsible for. Now, love him or hate him, Andrew Tate hits on a lot of great points. I'm not going to say my man is 100,000% every single time, but a lot of what he says hits home. And like my man MTR says, there's still going to be some people who are going to sit there and find a way to turn it into sexist, misogynistic type of commentary that's coming out of his mouth. The rhetoric, they're always going to try to spin the narrative on what's being said. And he's right. A lot of men are not in this game making a lot of money. To an extent, he's probably close to accurate when he says that 99% of men are still living check to check or still living below the poverty line, not rich, right? You already know the top 1%, they may be in positions to be able to oppress women. Like you said, there are some bad apples, but it's not that they're all doing it. But the way some women feel it seems as though all men are out here trying to oppress women, and that's deeply saddening to hear that shit. These types of comments and commentaries and narratives seems to come from the Western world, because I've been abroad, spent a lot of time abroad, and I don't hear that shit over there at all. I don't hear no woman over here talk about a man trying to oppress them at all. I've never heard a woman say that shit ever. Right? But if they watch enough of this social media shit, I'm not going to sit here and say that they're not going to pick up on some of that shit. But in reality, the majority of men ain't out here trying to keep the woman down, right? To feed into this feminism and feministic theory that all men are bad and that all men are this, that, and the other. It's just not like that. I make decent money in the job that I have. I'm not crying about it. I could always make more. My status in society, I'm a middle class guy. And like they say, they're pricing out the middle class apparently, allegedly. But like I said, I do pretty well. Okay? I am responsible for my young lady. Okay? I do not shy away from my responsibilities as a man to make sure that my young lady is taken care of. To make sure she has what she needs. That's my fucking job as a man. I am willing to take on that responsibility because that is what I signed up for. You feel me? And that is the mentality of the majority of men. But yet and still, when I see young men wearing t-shirts that says the future is female, the future is women, and they start spewing this narrative as if women don't have the same opportunities as men do in normal society. We're talking about normal. Top level shit, that's a whole different story, right? You can say it's the boys club at the top level. I don't know. You can say that shit. But as far as on a regular scale, to sit there and say that all men are out here trying to oppress and or keep women down, I think that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. All right? Women have all the rights when it comes to the court system. Damn near all of them belong to them. Right? When it comes to having children and dealing with children in the court, thank God I don't have that issue. Thank God I don't have no kids right now. But it seems to always favor the women because it's very rare that you'll find a judge that'll take a child away from their mother. So when it comes to child support, even recently, they were trying to say something to the effect of even in the womb, before the child is born, they were going to try to find ways to make a man pay child support even before the child was born. But yet and still, women have the audacity to believe that men are out here trying to keep them down. And it's laughable because we can bust our ass do everything we possibly humanly can. The good ones, of course, are going to go out there and bust their ass to make sure that the ones that are underneath their fold are taken care of. They will literally put themselves on the line and, like my man said, put their life on the line in order for these women to be okay. But yet and still, you have some out there that will say, man, men ain't shit. They ain't doing this. Now, in reality, it's not the fact that men ain't shit. It's the fact that the men you deal with ain't shit. There's a big difference, right? It's not that men ain't shit. It's just the men you deal with that ain't shit. Very rarely do I hear men talking about women ain't shit. We hear women ain't loyal, this, that, and the other, but yet and still following along that narrative from a man's perspective, most of the time it's the women you choose to deal with that ain't shit or, that cheat or do whatever, right? It happens. It goes both ways. But to hear my man Andrew Tate lay it on the line for y'all, and he's even said in videos himself that any woman that's working for him or dealing with him in any capacity, he's willing to put his life on the line for this young lady as long as that woman is willing to follow suit. Y'all gonna sit there and say, oh, that's a misogynist way. Oh, you're very sexist, or oh, that you gotta control your women and stuff. No. If I'm responsible for that young lady and that young lady is doing what she does, whatever I needed to do in whatever capacity, and I am genuinely putting myself out there to be responsible for her, that's what I signed up for. That's what I'm committing myself to. So as a result, that commitment goes both ways. But yet and still, y'all want to look at a woman committing himself to a man, or a man being in a position, not necessarily to control, but to basically make the decisions. You know, you're going to be mad at him for making decisions that he know are likely going to be to the benefit of you, and still get pissed off about it, right? You get mad at a man for making decisions that are probably to your benefit on your behalf, just because you don't feel like that was the right call, or you want to feel like you got more say so. And I don't know his relationship, but in most relationships, women do have a say in the conversation. Ultimately, it should be the man's decision, depending on the situation, depending on the call. But in reality, it's like anytime a man wants to try to do something that he believes is to the benefit of the young lady, this is the type of narrative you get. You're just trying to keep women down. You're trying to oppress women. You're trying to treat your woman like a slave. No, she's my partner. And all I need is my partner to play her role. I'll do my part. As long as I do my part, I shouldn't have to hear a damn thing, right? But yet and still, that comes off as misogynistic, sexist. You're going against the feminine, whatever. Fuck. That's where I'm getting at, and it's sad. But everything that man said in this video is on point. And you heard the women in the background. Yeah, you right. You're right. All of them in agreement. You want to know why? Because there is no flaw in that conversation. There is no flaw in that statement. You're going to find one, I'm sure, but there's no flaw in that statement. Ladies, men ain't really out here trying to do all that. It's not the majority of us. I tell you the truth. But it's sad, though, because the way you talk about things, the way that y'all do things and handle things is the reason why a lot of us are dating abroad. Like I said, I don't have that problem. I've never had that issue dealing with, women abroad. Ever. Nobody's ever said I'm trying to keep them down. Nobody's ever said I'm trying to, control or whatever. I've never had that argument at all when it came to dealing with women abroad. It's only in these Western worlds where, like I said, society and what you guys hear, about oppression and all that shit, that's where you get it from. And it's funny because women who didn't actually live through the oppressive stages of a woman's life during the way back in the day, they still want to use that same talking point and that same narrative, but they can't relate because they didn't live through it. They're talking about it from their foremothers, right? It's not fair. It's not fair. That's all I'm going to say. It's not fair. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This has been a good Doc, man. If you enjoyed this content, you want to support in any capacity, please feel free to do so. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Doc would highly appreciate that one, man. Y'all make sure y'all stay locked in, man. Doc's on to the next one. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed. Doc is out. Peace.